In this lesson, we'll look at two commonly used HTML tags to modify the appearance of text in HTML pages. We'll look at the strong tag to create the appearance of bold, and we'll look at the EM tag, or emphasis tag, to create the appearance of italics. We can see our web page, which has a main title, subtitles, one of those subtitles overridden by a CSS rule passed to the H2 element by way of an attribute, but there's no text on here besides the bolding which is inherited from the usage of the H1 and H2 tags. There's no text inside our file that's bolded inside the main body, or our bullet points, our ordered and unordered lists in this page. So how do we get bold and italics into our document? This is accomplished very easily using the strong and emphasis tags. If we were to look at the directions of this file, and if the person who created this recipe said that this block of text, stir constantly for 8 to 10 minutes, was very, very important for this recipe to come out well, you might want to bold that text. So if we switch over to our HTML file and find the corresponding list item, which in this case is the second list item in my ordered list, I'm going to type before the first digit or the first character that I wish to style bold, and type an opening strong tag. Then I'm going to position my cursor, either using my mouse or my keyboard, after the last word that I wish to have bolded, and type a closing strong tag. And I might increase the size of my HTML file by extending it horizontally so that it's a little easier to view. And from the File menu, I'll select Save and switch over to my web browser and hit Reload. Now I can see that text appears bold. But it's worth taking a look at what would happen had I not typed in the strong tag properly. Let's position our mouse inside the closing strong tag and intentionally make a spelling mistake. Let's just say that we didn't, for some reason, hit the O in the word strong. Let's save this file, knowing that there is an error in the document. And let's see what happens in the web browser. If I hit reload, all of a sudden, whoa, all of the text that comes after my opening strong tag gets bolded. This is happening because the web browser doesn't know where you want to stop bolding text. In order for the HTML page to display properly, the browser has to be able to identify the starting point and the precise ending point where you want that text effect to take effect. The web browser is only as good as the instructions you give it. You always want to keep that in mind. So if I switch back to my HTML page, I'm going to put that O back into the word strong. And from the File menu, select Save, and then reload the document and see the text appear the way that we want it to. It's a very good idea to get into the habit right now of saving your work frequently and previewing your work in your web browser as you go. You want to do this because it's much easier to identify errors right after they occur than it is to identify them after several hours of work, because you may create multiple small, tiny errors, but they might compound upon each other. So it's much easier to find one small thing going wrong as it occurs than it is to figure out multiple items which might be interacting with each other and confusing you. Just something to keep in the back of your mind. But now, getting back to this example, if we wanted to have some text inside this list of directions that would be italicized, such as the words allow to cool, we can easily format this text very similar to the way that we formatted the words stir constantly for 8 to 10 minutes by switching over to our HTML document and finding the corresponding words in the appropriate list item, in this case the third list item, and before the first word to be italicized, type an opening EM tag, this standing for emphasis. And after the last letter to be italicized, type a closing EM tag. And then save your work, From the File menu, save, and switch over to your web browser, and refresh. And now you can see by using HTML tags, we have added extra formatting to two different ranges of words.